Hello again, everyone, and welcome to the Galen Snyder Show. I'm Vince Reed. The Galen Snyder Show brought to you by Aria Health, your neighbors in Lower Bucks County, and also by Peruzzi Buick GMC, located on Business Route 1 in Langhorne. Well, we're heading toward the final games of the regular season of play, and we come into this one where Pennsbury will be at home for the ball game as they'll be taking on the Bensalem Owls. It's senior recognition night for Pennsbury students, and it should be a good crowd again on hand for this ball game. As you know, Pennsbury is the team that is right now leading the league in the Suburban 1 National Conference by a game over Abington and Neshaminy, and it turns out that those two teams will meet tonight and find out which one, of course, will wind up with only one loss on the league's part of their schedule for this season. And Pennsbury looking to keep an unblemished record in the league as they come in here looking to see if they can finish things out well the last couple of games of the year. And of course, when you come up to every ball game, the way it's looked in the Suburban 1 League National Conference, particularly this year, you don't know what to expect as teams that maybe are down one week, but they're back up another week. So you got to be on your toes for every game. And I know that Pennsbury realizes they can't afford to look ahead to Neshaminy next week as they have a big one here against the Owls tonight. As far as that goes, Galen, that's probably the first thing you want to remind your kids probably is the fact that don't look ahead right now. This is as meaningful as every other game you played in the league.
Sure, and it's our last regular season home game of the year, and senior night, which is always an emotional night for the players, obviously the seniors. And you know, you have a Bensalem team that has a lot of good quality athletes, a lot of speed, and you know, obviously, despite their record, has a couple of impressive wins and cannot take lightly.
Yeah, you look at this ball club and you realize that maybe they've been up and down a little bit. They score a lot one week, and then maybe there's a week where they can't score at all. But at the same time, you got to be leery of a ball club like this with nothing to worry about. And you know they've already upended a team like Penn Ridge, which right now is in the battle there in the conference and the Continental right now for supremacy there. So you look at this as all you have to do is tell the kids about that Penn Ridge game, and they realize that this team can play with anybody.
Oh, absolutely. You know, that was a big win for them. It's the only loss that Penn Ridge has all year, and they've beaten CB South and also North Penn. So, you know, as I said, they're a dangerous team. They scored a lot of points last week against Neshaminy, and we're right in the game up until the end. And they own a good victory against Rock South. So you have to take them for what they are, which is a dangerous team.
When you look at this ball club, you know, each team we look at and see exactly where their strengths lie. You've got Kevin Hopkins who can throw the ball. You got a couple of guys in the backfield, Arcangeli and Pizarczyk, who certainly can run the ball. And you know, you've got Donnie Reed, who certainly does a nice job catching and most of the throws that are taken there by Hopkins to put it up in the air. So what are you looking at when it comes to, you know, how to defend this ball club compared to maybe the way you defend some others this year?
Well, I mean, fortunately, we've seen a lot of shotgun spread offenses this year, starting with Downingtown and, of course, Tenet and also Rock North, our last two opponents. Every one of them is a little bit different, and the Bensalem, you know, their offensive package is a little bit different as well. You know, they're a little bit more two-back with the quarterback in the backfield. So I think they're balanced up. They do a pretty good job running the ball. And then, you know, obviously the wide receiver, Reed, big target, made a lot of plays against the Neshaminy. Seems like a real good athlete.
I know one of the things you guys done a really good job on is the fact that you're playing outstanding ball on defense, and I think really that's what I was thinking. You know, this is a team that can throw it as well as run it, and they've got a decent passing game. I mean, better than decent when you look at it. But your guys defensively, it seems lately, have really been playing extremely well, and they picked off a number of passes, even took a couple back all the way.
Yeah, we dropped a couple too in the last game. We could have had even more. We had a couple of bigs. Could have had two more. You know, we have been playing good defense, and you know, I think we're a balanced team in that respect. You know, we've done pretty well in all phases. Offense, defense, and special teams.
When you look at the running game of Bensalem, what do you see there, and what do you feel are their strong suits when it comes to the run?
Well, I think the biggest thing is all their people in the backfield have quickness. They can all they all get downhill. They're not overly big. But they're all speed backs. Running inside, picking up hard yards.
When you have the last ball game you played there, and of course they were going to come out and really put up a show and do the best they could against you when it comes to Council Rock North and their defense there. And they played pretty well against you, kept it within a one-score game till the end of the ball game. But you guys, proved that you could come through and get the job done. That was a tough one, undoubtedly, between certainly the two lines that battled all night.
Correct. They have Rock North played a good game, no doubt about it, on both sides of the ball. And special teams too, a couple field goals. They played well. Their strength of their team is their defensive line and their inside linebackers. And so from that standpoint, they offered a good matchup against us because, they're a team that likes to establish the line of scrimmage offensively, run the ball. They had the size and players to match up with us. But we came through, we mixed it up, we threw the ball a little bit, and we ran the ball effectively. And, it was a good challenge for us, and it was a physical game, no doubt, and our guys came through.
From what you've seen, looking at them size-wise and their defensive line, and especially from the Bensalem point of view, what do you think about this defense compared to some you've played already this year?
Well, they're not as big as Rock North. Rock North has a good sized defense. There's a couple linemen, number 72, he's big. He's a 280 kid for him. Richie
Duncan
Murphy,
yeah.
6'3", 265. So he's a big kid. Their linebackers are, they're not really big kids, but they're downhill, play downhill, they're physical, they run the ball. So, they played us tough last year defensively, and although they graduated a lot of guys, I feel like, obviously they're going to step up and play hard.
Tom from Mooresville says that Aria Health's emergency department saved his life. Recently, while playing golf, Tom experienced cardiac arrest and the ambulance took him to Aria Health Bucks County campus, where Dr. Emmerich and his team of doctors and nurses took fast action and literally brought Tom back to life. Dr. Emmerich visited Tom frequently, answered all his questions, even gave him his phone number. Led by Dr. Harry Emmerich, the emergency department at Aria Health Bucks County provides 24/7 care in a leading-edge environment. To learn more about Tom's story at Aria Health Bucks County, visit ariahealth.org/Tom. That's ariahealth.org/Tom.
Hi, this is Larry at Peruzzi Buick GMC. You'll hit a home run every weekend at Peruzzi Buick GMC Service Department. Every Saturday and Sunday, Peruzzi Buick GMC is offering a standard oil and filter change for just $19.95. And remember, Peruzzi Buick GMC is open every Sunday from 8 to 5. Peruzzi Buick GMC is the home of the $34.95 Pennsylvania State and Emissions Inspection every day of the week. No matter where you purchase your car or truck, you can get it serviced 7 days a week at Peruzzi Buick GMC. And remember, we're open Sundays from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m.
When it comes to the run for them, where do they like to go for the most part?
Their coach, Kevin Kelly's always been pretty balanced. He doesn't necessarily run the same style that like a Rock North will run. He runs a little bit more between the tackles, give you a little lead,
right,
with a lean back and the other half back. And so a little bit more traditional running style plays, and they will mix in a little bit of the zone read stuff that you see in the Rocks and so forth going down.
When it comes to their passing game, from what you have seen of them so far this year, is there certain plays they really enjoyed, going to Reed or anybody else? There are certain things they like to do mostly, and maybe take a pop for a long one once in a while, but where do they like to go for the most part when it comes to their passing game? Down on the sidelines, or they like to go over the middle?
Well, they're probably most successful with the typical, what you would call three-step drop.
Right.
Although it's out of a shotgun, so it's a little bit different. But the typical fades, slants, those types of things, getting the ball to their big receiver. That's where they hurt the shadow the other night. So that seems to be one of the most effective.
they seem to get, you know, from Reed and the rest of them, pretty good yardage after the catch?
Absolutely, absolutely. You know, they're guys with speed, they can break tackles and do, and so yeah, they can take a short pass across the middle and something.
All right, we are coming to you, of course, thanks to the sponsors that we have here, and of course, one of them being, of course, Aria Health, which is your neighbors here in Lower Bucks County, and by Peruzzi Buick GMC, located on Business Route 1 in Langhorne. I want to talk a little bit about this Pennsbury Ball Club, and certainly right now you've got in the backfield, you got three really strong backs. Snorway, of course, was injured. He was out a little bit. He's a speedster type. He doesn't have the big size that some of these other guys have. He's 5'9", about 160. But, of course, he has experience having played last year and this year. But now you got Tommy Hose running in there for him. And, of course, along with Daquan Mack, and Sean Pepper is just lighting it up this year. I mean, that is a trio of tough running backs right there for somebody to contend with every single down.
Yeah, all three guys have size, all three guys have speed. You know, they kind of complement one another with their skill sets, and you know, they played tremendous. All of them played very well against Rocky.
I think one of the things that we're seeing as it goes along in these the maturation of Breon Clark, your quarterback that you put in there in the Downingtown East ball game for his first start, has a couple of touchdowns now for him, just a sophomore with this ball club. He's done a real nice job, you know, running the team. I think one of the great things that two of the best plays we've seen this year have come from the fact that when he just fakes it there to the fullback, Daquan Mack, and takes it in bootlegs off the left side. He's done that a couple of times. But I'll tell you what, Mack on those couple of occasions really had us fooled, because when he takes it and takes a fake, he makes it look, and he gets his head down and his body down, and, you know, they have to go after him. And certainly when they charge there, give some room there for Breon to go outside.
Well, that's actually a good description. That's what we saw on tape, you know, especially with that the touchdown run, Breon's touchdown run. Daquan did such a good job of selling everybody on the fact that he had the ball, that the outside linebacker and the corner, they had their backs turned to Breon until he was probably about 10, 15 yards down the field, and they finally realized that Daquan did not have the ball when he turned around.
I know there have been twice now this year that they really fooled me. The Tennant game was another one that he fooled me on there, because I thought too that Daquan, carrying out that fake, really had the ball, and so did they, and that helped him to also get some big yardage. But when you look at the play of Sean Pepper, I mean, he had that one where he got away from the guy through the middle. It looked like he was going to be tackled last week, and it seemed like they had him around, just about around the ankles. He pulled one leg out, pulled the other, and took off, and only their one safety had a chance to catch him, and he couldn't do it. And it seems like he's just having a year that's, you know, you would hope you'd have somebody like that come through. He's got to be one of the best that we've seen so far in this area. And I look at a couple of guys in the Suburban 1 League Continental that have the kind of play that Sean has. But in this league, I don't think there's anybody that measures up to what he's been running.
Well, first of all, when you're bringing up the fakes, you know, we tell our kids that, like, you know, carrying out the fake is almost the equivalent of throwing a block. You know, when a defender believes you have it and he sticks with you, you know, that in effect you neutralize him just like you blocked him. So that's why when the guys do, at this stage of the season, when we convince guys that they understand the importance of it, you see the impact. And then as far as your second question regarding Sean, yeah, I think he's obviously been the best player of the year, you know, thus far.
Yeah.
You know, I know he's got 2 more games to show it, you know, and I do know that we, you know, at our all big meetings, we think of player of the year.
Right.
Oh, and I haven't seen one better so far than Sean. He's had a tremendous year.
Yeah, he certainly has. And we're going to be touching on another game that's going on this weekend that means a lot, too, to the Pennsbury Falcons. I want to let you know we're being brought to you by Aria Health, your neighbors in Lower Bucks County, and also by Peruzzi Buick GMC, located on Business Route 1 in Langhorne. Coach, while we have a chance, let's touch on that Abington-Neshaminy ball game. You haven't played Neshaminy yet. You did play Abington, but I was mentioning about the fact that, you know, when you look at this game on paper, You can dissect it every kind of way, but it just looks like it's really a pick-em affair with these two ball clubs.
Yeah, I do think that, you know, the Chamonix, if you look at the strengths of the two teams, you know, the Chamonix, they are a team that's very strong, running ball, offensive line, very good run blockers. You know, they have speed in the backfield with the tailback, they have size at fullback, and you know, so their offense, you know, creates problems for a lot of people. And, you know, Abington's offense is an offense that, you know, relies on a lot of speed. They do have speed to hurt anybody. I thought they played really well last week against the Rock South, and so they seem to be getting better and starting to peak. And you know, they're both. It's going to be a great game considering, you know, it's like the second to last game of the season.
Yeah, I think undoubtedly too, one of the things I look at a game like this, and you got to factor in too, they're at Heartbreak Ridge for this ball game, so a little bit of an edge there goes on the site as far as that goes, where they're playing for the Chamonix Redskins. But this one just looks like it's anybody's ball game. I guess whoever is able to stay away from mistakes gets an opportunity to win this ball game.
Yeah. I mean, they're both going to play well. You know, on the defensive side as well, they're both going to play physical defense, and I think you're right. It comes down to, like a lot of games, it's going to come down to penalties and turnovers.
Well, Coach, we're looking forward to your big one here this week. And, of course, you're the undefeated team, and they are the two we're talking about, because they're both one-loss teams in the Suburban One League National Conference, and they're just the one game behind the Pennsbury Falcons. So whoever wins that battle would still be in the hunt as far as that goes. And, of course, Pennsbury would have the Chamonix on the final game of the season, the regular season, which will be coming up next week as well. But we're looking forward to a good one here on Senior Recognition Night for the Pennsbury Falcon Ball Club. And, of course, they'll be honoring as well the cheerleaders are seniors, as well as the band members, and, of course, the football team as well, that are sending out their seniors here for the last time on their home field. And we'll see exactly how things are going to turn out and what should be a good ball game. Bensalem, a team you can't overlook. They're going to be a tough customer coming in here. They got nothing to lose as far as that goes. They can come in here nice and loose. So it'll be interesting and see what Pennsbury can do against them. And, Coach, good luck in this one.
Thank you, Vince.
So we're set now to get ready for the big ball game that's going to be coming up between Pennsbury and Bensalem out at the Falcon Field. Our show tonight brought to you by Aria Health, your neighbors in Lower Bucks County, and of course by Peruzzi Buick and GMC, located on Business Route 1 in Langhorne. For Galen Snyder, I'm Vince Reed.